Hey Beckham and Wando, I'm Annie Wilborn and you're watching East Cooper Student News. Today on the show, Wando students dance their way to raising thousands of dollars and get an inside look at this robot built completely by students. Plus, spring sports are kicking off as we give you a sneak peek at Wando baseball and Beckham soccer. It's March 22nd and we've got all that and more on today's episode of East Cooper Student News starting right now. Thanks for watching. I'm Annie Wilborn. Every year, Wando hosts a fundraising event for the Shawn Jenkins Children's Hospital. This event is called WANDATHON. It's a 4-hour dance marathon. ECSN reporter Rachel Peak gives us an inside look at this year's event.
If this doesn't look like your typical high school dance, that's because it's not. It's Wandathon. Wandathon is a dance marathon with the intention of raising money for the Shawn Jenkins Children's Hospital at MUSC. And organizers say they're happy to work for the cause.
I love seeing the reactions from families. Our Miracle family was here and I started tearing up because I just love hearing the stories and getting to know that I have a place in the community and I can help like a family directly, or I can get to know them, and like she said, she's like, we're part of her family because we're helping her out. It's just amazing to be able to have that connection and then share it across the board too.
The Shawn Jenkins Children's Hospital opened in February of 2020. It houses the state's largest neonatal intensive care unit, has an entire floor dedicated to kids with heart problems, and has an entire floor dedicated to treating kids with cancer. Parents like Desiree and her daughter Taylor are happy the hospital exists.
So we really do become a family. And so when I see your faces and when I know that you guys have organizations like this, then I consider you a part of our family too.
Wandathon has been around since 2018. Each year, a new group of students take over the event. This year, it's senior Maddie Bowman.
So we definitely had more participants this year than I think we've ever had before. For the fundraising aspect, since we cut the event in half, we weren't able to have as many fundraising pushes or get enough money, but overall participation was so much better and we would rather have participants and people involved.
Maddie says fundraising was down a little this year, but after 4 hours of dancing and jiving, students raised more than $14,000 at this year's Wandathon. Reporting for ECSN, I'm Rachel Peak.
Thanks, Rachel. The fundraising is not over, and you can still donate by scanning this QR code on your screen. On our last show, Rachel told us about former South Carolina Governor Nikki Haley running for president. Last week, Wando gave students the opportunity to register to vote. ECSN reporter Nick Patel tells us how easy it is for 18-year-olds to get registered.
On any other given day here at the Wando Rotunda, you might see a group at a table trying to get a message out to students. This table in particular, however, has a valuable message for the future of the community and the government.
So we stood at the tables and we're like, oh, you guys should vote. We'd call them out, are you 18 or will you be 18? And then I kind of walked around the lunch tables, seeing people I knew, seeing if they would want to vote.
Pamela Goldman is a member of the League of Women Voters and wants kids to vote as soon as possible.
Voting is super, super important because your vote really does count, especially in years of local elections as well as big elections, because sometimes the local elections are the ones that affect your daily lives.
It's something that you as a person can do to impact your life, and especially voting for these types of elections, because they make an impact on certain policies that impact your life.
Elections that student council member Lauren Wong talking about are about the local elections. Her and Pamela know people are excited about the presidential election every 4 years, but they say in reality, local elections can be even more important.
I'll give you an example. Last year, we voted in some town council members from Mount Pleasant, and some of those people only won by 30 votes. So your vote really does make a difference. You could be a deciding vote to make somebody get into office.
Pamela says it's not hard to register to vote. All you need is to be 18 and the last 4 digits of your social security number.
And then you will get in the mail 2 weeks later a blue voter card, and you don't need to take that with you, but when you do go to register to vote, you do have to have an ID It can be an ID issued by the state. It can be a military ID, but you don't need it to register to vote. You just need to actually when you go to vote.
If you want to register to vote, you can do so online. The online registration has two forms, one for if you have a driver's license and one form if you don't have a driver's license. You can find that site by scanning the QR code on your screen. Over here at the CAS, several students are lighting the way, starting with business. Mr. Fralix recognized Gabby Jackaman for all her work in business programs. She's done well in both real estate, entrepreneurship, and she's involved in DECA.
I feel really grateful for that. I've had the opportunity to be in his class for 2 years now. I love what he teaches and I just love his energy. I feel very proud of that.
She's just a great student. Last semester when she was presenting in entrepreneurship, she won second place in her in-class competition, and she's going to go on and represent her class at the state competition in April. This is a great example of a student in our program that's trying to learn everything that she can about business.
We've been learning a lot about how to sign contracts, make contracts, building connections with clients. We've had lots of opportunities. We've had a guest speaker as well. I feel like we've learned a lot so far, and it's only been like a month in his class.
And over in cosmetology, Miss Reinica recognized Lila Stark for all the success she's had working with clients.
It feels good.
From day one, she has been a pretty big go-getter in her class. She already has a job in a salon. She is willing to help out any student that is in here. She takes pride in all of her work, and she really goes above and beyond on building a rapport with all of her clients.
We do like highlights, blowouts, coloring, haircuts.
Some of Lila's clients include her own parents. Congratulations to those CAS students for some outstanding work. Other students over here at the CAS have been spending their afternoons and evenings on a pretty big project. ECSN reporter Luca Alberon tells us how one group of students is building a fully functioning robot from scratch.
This might look like kids are trying to defuse a bomb in a James Bond movie, but tinkering with these wires is all about getting this to work.
I enjoy the critical thinking and the problem solving that needs to go into building the robots and completing the tasks that are required.
Critical thinking and problem solving is what the East Cooper Robotics Club is all about. This group is working on building a fully functioning robot.
I think our robot this year is really efficient in the way it picks up and moves around the objects.
Pearson Kelly is a leader of the robotics team and will be one of the robot's drivers throughout several competitions this year.
This year, I would say, is a little easier year for the game because it just requires you moving one object around instead of having to worry about a bunch of different things to move around.
The team used this robot to complete different tasks earlier this month at the first robotics competition, which was a 3-day event in Anderson, South Carolina. The team is trying to do well enough in local competitions to move on to the district championship in Georgia.
And then if we do good in that, you can go to Worlds, which is in Texas, but I hope we can get that far, so that'll be fun.
The East Cooper Robotics Club hopes to travel far and wide with their drive, hard work, and potent potential. Reporting for ECSN, I'm Luca Alberon.
Thanks, Luca. The robotics team is called Phoenix 4533, and their next competition is in Hartsville. The team is confident they'll qualify for the district competition in Georgia. Outside the classroom, spring sports are getting started. One of these sports is baseball, and ECSN reporter Maddie Richmond takes us to the field for Wando's first regular season game versus Ashley Ridge.
Wando's first regular season baseball game, hosting Ashley Ridge. The game was a pitcher's duel. Wando starter Robert Waddy gets a ground ball to Tyler Pinson, who makes the throw to first. Waddy was effective all night. Fourth inning, scoreless game. Waddy gets an inning-ending strikeout on a nasty curveball. Top of the sixth. Waddy gets another swamp fox swing on a pitch in the dirt. Waddy threw 7 innings, struck out 6, and gave up just 2 hits. Ashley Ridge starter Chase Stryker has one of the best arms in the state. Stryker will pitch next year at Coastal Carolina. Has struck out double-digit Warrior hitters in 6 1/3 innings pitched. Ashley Ridge scored 3 runs in the top of the 7th to win 3-0. Reporting for ECSN, I'm Maddie Richmond.
Thanks, Maddie. After dropping a tough series to Ashley Ridge, Wando swept Beckham on the baseball field last week. And over at Beckham, one of the teams looking to go deep into the playoffs this year is the girls' soccer team. They kicked off their season with a tough game versus Waccamaw. Here's an inside look at the game.
Beckham girls soccer hosts Waccamaw for their first home game of the season. First half, lots of back and forth between the Bengals and the Warriors. Waccamaw with the ball. Number 4, Corinne Gregory shoots, and her teammate Lindsay Latimer taps it in. Waccamaw leads Beckham 1-0. Later in the first, Beckham's still fighting Waccamaw for the ball. Mary Elizabeth Moy gets the ball. She shoots, and it's in. Beckham ties it up 1-1. End of the first half, the Bengals and Warriors are still battling for the ball. With the girls lined up, Waccamaw shoots again, and Beckham gets a good save. The score remains tied 1-1 at the end of the half. Waccamaw would go on to top the Bengals 4-3.
As of our taping, Beckham has improved their record to 9-2. The girls will continue their season through April with hopes to surpass their playoff run from last season, where they lost to James Island in the lower state finals. Spring sports aren't the only groups in action. This school year, clubs have been more active than they have in a long time, mainly because COVID restrictions are over. At Wando, there used to be a club called the Wando Adventure Club for students who love the outdoors. It went away for a while, but ECSN reporter Ella Davis tells us how it's getting started back up again.
The weather's getting warmer and the sun has been shining, which means for some, including the Wando Adventure Club, this is the perfect time to go camping. The Wando Adventure Club started back up again after it ended due to COVID restrictions, but thanks to the help of some eager Wando outdoor lovers, the club is rekindled.
Students approached me and asked about the club, and so I gave it some thought, and I talked to a few people, and I realized that it would be a good thing to bring back.
Even though this is the first year the club has been back in a while, the Wando Adventure Club, or WAC for short, is not a brand new idea to hit the halls of Wando.
The Wando Adventure Club has been around for maybe 10 to 15 years under different names, but we were really active a few years ago, up until a few years ago, and then obviously for reasons everyone is familiar with, we stopped doing the club.
Ms. Crochet is a wildlife biology teacher at Wando and oversees the club. As the club is beginning to pick back up, she's looking forward to recruiting more students in the next few years.
This semester is like a dry run, and what I'm doing is I'm starting the club back with students that I have taught in my wildlife biology classes. So that is going to be, we're going to build a core group, and then from there we will, include other students.
However, for many of Crochet's wildlife biology students, this is their first time going camping. Audrey Chadwick is one of those students. She's a senior at Wando High School and is a TA for Ms. Crochet.
I was really excited when Ms. Crochet had invited me to join the Remind. I'm also really nervous because I've never been camping before. I think it'll be a good experience, and it's kind of like glamping or whatever they call it. So I'm pretty excited.
The club will become more involved over the next year. Right now, camping trips are limited to current or former wildlife biology students. If you're interested in going camping trips next school year, consider registering for Ms. Crochet's wildlife biology class. Reporting for ECSN, I'm Ella Davis.
That's the first time.
The Adventure Club is hoping to go on at least one more camping trip before the school year gets out. The best way to join right now is to enroll in wildlife biology class next year. Another club you might not be familiar with is the Wando Crochet Club. Right now, the club is open to anyone who is interested in learning the craft of crocheting. Current members are willing to teach you the basics. The club's goal this year is to make things that they can either sell or donate to local organizations.
Because I wanted to give more opportunity for community service, we kind of want to do something where we can have people make stuff and then we sell it at a little market. So if we do that, we can get more yarn and more materials, and it'll be perfect, and they can experience the selling part of it.
The club meets every other Tuesday in B209 at Wando. And at the CAS, another active club is the Photography Club. Members meet each Tuesday to plan their next photo shoot, which is usually local, and usually photo shoots happen over the weekend. The group is always looking for new places to take pictures.
It's a great experience to get new friends with similar interests and be able to go out and experience your hobby and really get into like-minded people. We're trying to plan official road trip things to go somewhere that's kind of outside of an easy area to access, like places like Beaufort, so we can have a wider array of places to take pictures of.
If you're interested in taking pictures around town and meeting new people, the club meets every Tuesday before school in room L102. That's all for ECSN today. If you like our show and want to be a part of it, you can apply by scanning the QR code on your screen. The code will take you to a Google form, and you can select ECSN on the application. You need some teacher references and a link to some work you've done that demonstrates some video or writing skills. We hope to see you on our staff next year. Signing off for ECSN, I'm Annie Wilborn.